Hey, what up, Spike Dodgeball? Hey, are we live? I didn't even know we were live. We got the broadcast on? My bad. Let me dang. Yeah, are we live? Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out how to get this going. My stream deck stopped working from the Switch, but either way, I'll figure that out later. How's it going this morning, Spike Dodgeball? Okay, cool. Yeah. I think I got the audio at least right. Now we have the audio. It wasn't working last time. So we got that fixed. Just the switch over, bro. Trying to switch it back over. Um, Anyways, this morning there was a nice setup on Tesla this morning. Nice little bull flag right here, right into VWAP. That was nice. But anyways, overall market, what are you looking at today? Spike Dodgeball. Overall market is pulling into that resistance zone. So I think possibly we could be breaking this downtrend. We are testing it at the moment. And by the way, again, my stream deck is not completely working. So also, let me see if I can resize this. See what the best size is. There we go. I think that might be the best size for the stream. Yeah, there we go. That should work. Might as well practice it live. Yep, there we go. Soggy, what up? What up? Oh, what up, Sid? How you guys doing this morning? Tesla, AMD, Palantir. Yeah, they're exploding. Man, I missed my stream deck. I can't even hit the buttons, but that's fine. I'll get it working hopefully by tomorrow morning. But how you guys doing today? Hey, real quick, S&P is testing this downtrend. So what does that mean? I mean, dang, we did need a pullback. So if we do pull back and if we get above this downtrend, then we might be seeing more momentum to the upside. This market might not slow down at all. And we're pretty much at the top of the trend. On the big trend, we're at the top of the daily chart trend. So this was the bull market trend. And now we're at the top of that trend. So this is pretty bullish. I think there might be still more buying. This is going to be an important level to hold is at 432. We'll see if we can hold it this week. At the end of the week, we do have PCE. So we got some inflation indicators at the end of the week. Fed Chair Powell speaks on Wednesday. But yeah, that's a nice little move. Let's see what Qs are doing. The Qs are just straight up, right? Qs are straight up. I think the Qs might be testing that downtrend also. Let's see. Tesla, AMD. So that's what you guys are looking at, huh? Tesla, AMD. Tesla's moving up, man. Pretty strong. Still moving up. Has a nice, there we go. There, now we get a little pullback. So we'll see. It's at PDC. It's at the previous day close. This was a nice setup right here initially. Is that bull flag and that breakout initially. See what the EMAs are looking like. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to take these off though, unless I'm actually getting in just to see a little quicker, see a little more clarity on the chart. So that's a nice bull flag. We'll see if it does pull back. Tesla could pull back. We could see something, could see some type of bull flag again like this. That would be nice to see that, especially if the S&P starts to break out of that trend. 20 and 69 caught IWM. Oh, so you guys are okay. You guys are looking at some of you are looking at IWM. IWM still looking good. Well, it's pulling into VWAP. You got IWM pulling into VWAP. It's above the previous support levels. Sid, are you invested, Sid? What are you looking at? Are you invested? If you're not an active trader or if you're just investing, then you know, best opportunities, I think, not financial advice, are going to be Well, Bitcoin is has made that move, and I think BlackRock gets the approval. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get rid of that noise also. This is only our second live stream on YouTube, so make all the mistakes, figure out how it works, and go from there. But yeah, IWM trying to find support here, and it looks like if we get above this trend and we hold what is this 182.50? Yeah, I'm gonna say 182.50 soggy is the level to really get out of that downtrend. We saw previous support last week here at this level. Yeah, previous support turned into resistance. So obviously right there, 180, yeah, 182.50 was support turned into resistance. It's showing some resistance there, but if we do get above that level, then IWM might have another local rally. We might get another rally in IWM. I'm wondering if this week is going to be the opening. The opening trades are all going to happen in the early morning. We'll see how that works out. We have a lot of economic activity in the data. No inflation till Friday. I think it's just housing starts. Some housing data, some what is it? Manufacturing data. Nothing big today. There really isn't. We should just be seeing. You looking at Meta, Tesla, AMD, Apple, Nvidia. Okay, shoot, I see you, bro. Dang, I missed my stream deck. I see you out there. A little bit of coin. All right. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity. I think personally, this is really the last pullback before we really start ripping into the bull market. People are still have cash. There's a lot of cash on the sideline still remaining on the sideline. People are still worried that this is not sustainable. But hey, if we consolidate for a while in this area for the Qs and for the S&P, we're just going to gain more momentum. The short squeeze already happened. I think we're headed to level 2 short squeeze, not level 2, but the next level for the short squeeze. So individual stocks, running higher. Obviously, let's take a look at AMD. It did fill that gap at 108.50, and now it is starting to bounce. I want to wait though. I've been watching AMD for a while, and I haven't got too. It's exciting. I want to rush in. It looks really good. But I want to wait until this downtrend, until I see clear support and downtrend. Damn, bro, I got to get rid of that. Got to get rid of that. Either way, yeah. So we're testing that downtrend, right? This is the 30-minute chart. Let me remove the pre-market and see if it looks any different. Let's see the regular hours. Dang, that thing is steep. That was a nice bottoming pattern though on AMD. Very nice bottoming. Filled that gap at 180.50 in this zone. This was the bottom. Got below it, started to come up. And I know a lot of people like to take that trade. They just fill the gap and they buy. Yeah, I got about 20K on the sideline. Nice. Okay. So I think like if you're not a day trader, the swing trading is really going to come in play. If you could afford a Tesla contract, Tesla's been showing a lot of support at 250. Look at that. That's a third time. Look how many times we've seen this. 1, 2, and then this morning, 3. So we have so much support at 250 for Tesla. Now this is minus pre-market hours. So it is minus pre-market hours. I like to look at both, but for the short term, we are starting to form a nice bottom at 250, and the break of the trend is definitely going to be some more momentum to the upside. There's a lot of let me see, 265 I think is that next resistance level for Tesla, but the downtrend is definitely starting to form a nice, it's not a wedge, but you could say this is, look, you could draw the bull flag here. You could call this a bull flag or a wedge, right? There's a lot of ways you can look at it. It's not super clean, but we do know 250 is support, 265 is clear resistance. We do know that for Tesla, right? That's pretty clear. You could say that's a wedge. It's not the cleanest wedge, but today is Monday, and Monday could be dangerous. A lot of people are going to FOMO in, on the open. I definitely didn't want to do that, even though I did miss an opportunity in Tesla this morning, right? I missed this opportunity. But I want to see what the market gives us today. We already broke above PDC. We're already testing that gap, that next day gap. Let me get the pre-market back on. I do like to see the pre-market. And two, I want you guys to hear my what up? Oh, Dimaj. I wish I could hit the stream deck. I want to hit it so bad. Amazon looks good. Yeah, everything looks good. Amazon on that second day play for sure is moving up. So yeah, that's Tesla. It is breaking above. We'll see what it does. But I want you guys to hear my thought process so you know kind of how I'm going into it. Like just raw. I have not evaluated the market, even though you should evaluate the market. Today, I'm going to be evaluating the market and see some setups for tomorrow. Could I trade today? Yeah, if I see it. But I don't want to rush in. The open is dangerous, man. The open really gets a lot of people. It's quick. And I just want to see the market digest a little more of the economic data coming in and see where price actually goes, right? And that's fine. If you traded the open, that's totally fine. Palantir is ripping at the moment. Palantir is starting to rip up, holding VWAP. Don't really like the pattern, right? But this is what it does. It's Palantir is one of those. It looks a lot like Ethereum. It'll have these, bearish flags. Like usually these don't last, but it'll do a bear flag and then break higher. So Palantir, and this zone is basically the buy zone, one of the buy zones. That's why it's kind of highlighted in yellow. So yeah, long term. I think this is my favorite AI play for the long term. Best AI play in my opinion, right, is going to be Palantir. As a trade, it's really tricky. It's really tricky to trade Palantir. I personally don't like the setup, but it looks pretty good. So AMD, again, going back to AMD, here's your pullback, right? We want to see on AMD. I know a lot of you are looking at AMD. So for AMD, we're breaking that down. We found support. We filled the gap. Now, clearly there is, let me see if I should move this around. This was a zone previously. Let me move this down a little bit. So what we're looking at now is there's support at 111 for sure. There's some support at 111. And for AMD, you also have like 2 days ago, was this 3 days ago, you had clear support at 1170. You had some 1170 support. It looks like we're bouncing off of that. But yeah, this is my thought process. So we're holding the pre-market highs. I think this is key. Holding those pre-market highs, holding above VWAP. That's pretty key. I'm going to stay on the 1 minute until we get about an hour in, then I'll switch to the 3 minute. So AMD is setting up really nice right now. Maybe for a swing trade, maybe for, possibly for a day trade. I know Amazon's hot. I know a lot of things are hot right now. Oh my goodness, I got to get rid of that sound. QCOM. But yeah, how's it going? Amazon moving today. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry I don't have the stream deck working. It's I'm not a technician, man, but I'll figure this stuff out so it's a little better tomorrow. But shout out to you, chat, for jumping in the live stream. We will definitely get this going a little better now that we're off TikTok or whatever. So I think it's better on here anyways. I think it's a lot cleaner. It's quicker. There's no delays, right? We can actually see what's going on. I can move it around. So this is going to be, I think, a little higher quality. We'll stick with it for now. Might even transition here. All right. Amazon had that big, we tried to trade Amazon last week and it just broke down, right? We tried to trade it last week. Now we're holding above that level and it's actually pulling in at the moment. It is actually pulling in at the moment. Let me see what it looks like on my other, let me see what this looks like on my other screen. As a matter of fact, let me just move this here. There we go. All right, so let's see what Amazon looks like on my other charts. I have TOS charts up all the time because originally I'm more used to trading on TOS, and trading views also nice. Man, Tesla is climbing. The Qs are vertical. Qs just ran into previous day support, SPY, and this is why it's dangerous. We just got a big rejection on SPY. Big rejection on SPY. Let me go through sort of market breadth right now. Advanced decline is moving higher. So we do have an advanced decline going up. We're in the positive now. 1,300 stocks are advancing versus declining. The Dow is breaking down, trying to go for new lows. The IWM is breaking down. I know we just got some economic data coming out. Let me double check what that economic data is. I'm pretty sure, what was it that came out? What was it that came out? I think we just find support here. So it's a nice little pullback It is we didn't get durable goods order. Oh, the Dallas Fed manufacturing. It didn't come out yet, but it's about to come out. Looks like the market's already reacting. There could have been something else that came out. And we're in deep recession territory. The manufacturing index, right, which leads the business cycle or economic growth in general, is still negative. So I don't think the Fed hikes. It's not a terrible, it's not a terrible thing to see this, because what it really means is the Fed just can't hike. They can, but growth is not, there's no inflationary forces right now. Inflation is non-existent regardless of what you hear. If you disagree, I'll battle with you. I'll send you an invite and we could talk about inflation, but inflation is coming down like a rock. Shelter CPI is going to come in. So all this negative growth, the real risk is, do we fall into a sharp recession? Is there any inflation shocks, right? Do we see that? Other than that, I think we do find support, right? Okay, so AMD is nicely setting up. I like the sharp pull in to, oh no, this is Amazon, my bad. This is a good setup too. I think AMD looks similar. It does. It looks a little similar. But Amazon, let's pull it to the daily chart. I know Amazon has a little more big picture movement on the daily chart. We are breaking on Amazon to the upside. It might have a little more momentum. Maybe it consolidates here. Right? That previous high was at 131. So now you got Amazon finding resistance at this level. Now it's pulling into VWAP. Can I stream both at the same time? I cannot, bro. I can't stream on TikTok because it's vertical versus horizontal. So I could stream a little bit on my phone. If I do that, maybe I'll just get another phone and try to do it. But for the most part, I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it. It's just tough because TikTok it just doesn't fit with YouTube. It just doesn't fit with YouTube, and at least the actual setup. But there's probably a way to do it. You're just not going to see the charts the same. Definitely the charts, you're not going to be able to see the same on the charts. So if I'm talking macro, I can do it. But look at this nice bull flag on Amazon. I like this, holding at least the previous highs yesterday. Let me pull this out. This was that zone that we couldn't get out of on Friday. So this might be something I re-enter, actually. So nice call out there. I like that. I like Amazon. Let's see what AMD looks like. AMD's okay. Tesla's still climbing. Not too worried about this. The entry was earlier down here for Tesla. Yeah, you had the entry a little earlier. It's a little vertical. It is holding previous day close though. It is holding the previous day close. Really quick, let's see Netflix. I don't really like Netflix. Google's moving up. Microsoft, ARK. Oh, hey, ARK moving up. That's going to bring up some of these swing trades I have on. I'm still holding Open Door, and I want to see ZM move up. I think there's a lot of room there. Overall market, though, is bouncing off PDC. So I think Amazon might be falling. Let me see what the RVol is. Let's see what the relative volume is for Amazon. Right now, we're trading at, what are we trading at? Oh, that's pre-market. No, I just want the RVol. Let's see. RVol for Amazon is 1.19. It's not great. It's pretty good. Let's see who else is moving. This is a warm up. It's Monday. We're warming up. Okay, got to get a warm up. See what the market is shaking up. Okay, Tesla's trading at the best RVol for the size of the stock for sure. 33 million shares. It's at 1.5. So Tesla's in play for sure. Coin starting to get in play. I know a lot of people are looking at coin. It's trading at 3.43. Its average volume. That's really in play. That's really good. We'll take a look at coin here. Oh yeah, coin had a nice rip higher. I'm not a fan of the price action on coin though. Even though you could play these pull-ins, you could play the pull-in support play, right? What is this, 65? No, 64.50. You could play the hold of 64.50 on coin. Yeah, you could play that. Let's see what we got. I've seen a lot of people stream on Discord. I don't know if that is a better option. Possibly on Discord. Let me see. Yeah, you could do the Discord stream. I'd rather do it on YouTube for now. To build the audience, because I guess you could stream on Discord. I'd just open up the Discord. We could stream on there. That's a possibility. We'll see what the best strategy is. All right, so AMD is now pulling up a little bit. Amazon's pulling up. I like AMD for a swing trade, though. Definitely holding this level. Let me get the volume on here. See what we're looking like. So Amazon is forming this little bull flag, but I want to see it go retest one more time down here at VWAP. Now, what is the overall market doing? Man, the Qs are strong. The Qs are retesting that resistance level. SPY is retesting. Advanced decline is still moving up. Looking good for advanced decline. Mark your breath is here. IWM is starting to support pretty good. But we do have that manufacturing data coming in about 15 minutes. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll definitely have to see how that plays out. Crypto fear and greed index. The greed is coming back. Slowly but surely, we're still at 55%. And that Bitcoin ETF is a big deal. That's a big deal. A lot of people front running it. It means BlackRock has to start buying. Opens up a lot of opportunity. Really quick, I just want to take a look at Bitcoin and ETH. Still consolidating. Okay. Chainlink has been on a monster tear. I think it's up like 20%. Chainlink's been on a month. It got down to $4.98. We're already back to $6.20. All right, VIX is falling. 10-year yields at 10.7. The dollar's still up. So these macro forces are still consolidating. No clear. Where's oil at? I know there's some news this morning about Russia, I think, keeping their supply high or selling at a low price, which is really good for markets. All right, AMD's pulling back. Amazon's starting to pull back. Maybe Amazon sets up here. Maybe Amazon sets up if we can get a second push. But what we should be seeing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that head and shoulders for Tesla. Not that it's a real head and shoulders. I mean, it is holding PDC. Nice opening drive. That was a nice opening drive there. You know what might even be better is if I do get the TOS on here. If I can get Think or Swim, which I can do, maybe I'll experiment right now. Sorry about that noise. If I can get the TOS on here, then we can actually see the the Dow, the SPY. You can see exactly what I'm looking at on this other side. Man, that's a monster rip. So Qs are running into resistance. Okay, be careful here. We're running into resistance long. This was literally yesterday's resistance for the Qs anyway. So we're not breaking that trend yet. It looked like we were gonna explode. I know people got excited. Oh my gosh, we're still in a bull market. Yes, we are still in a bull market, but it might take a couple days of consolidation before we really start moving above the trend, before we really start breaking the trend. Let me take off VWAP really quick. And I think it's going to take a couple days of consolidation. So you see, we're getting rejected by the trend currently. Let me zoom out a little bit. We are getting rejected by this trend on the Qs. 360, 450 pretty much. to 364.85. That at least is on the Qs. Take this off. All right, S&P. S&P, same thing, getting rejected, coming back down. So yeah, morning opening drive for day traders. There's a nice opening drive play. Now we're starting to slow down. NVIDIA, same thing. NVIDIA looks just like the Qs. NVIDIA is looking like the Qs. Let's see, AMD is pulling back in. We might need a little more support for AMD. See what Amazon's looking like. Is Amazon holding that bull flag? Let's take a thoughts on NXPI. NXPI, day trade, hold, investment, day trade or like swing trade. Is it investment? Is it the technicals, big long-term technicals? And yeah, that's what's up, Sid, man. It's nice to see you, bro. I haven't seen you for a while. I didn't even know you stayed in the markets like this. NXPI, yeah, we'll take a look at NXPI. All right, so yeah, that was a nice little support there on Amazon. I might actually get long Amazon here. It's holding the previous day highs. I might get long Amazon here just for a quick little scalp, maybe daily scalp. We do have the data coming out in 8 minutes though, so got to be careful here. Might not actually play out. So NXPI. Let's see what this thing looks like. NXPI. This is semiconductor. This is one of the semiconductors, huh? Now, wow, NXPI definitely is definitely testing a resistance zone. If it can get above this level, which it is testing, this is basically 200. So yeah, NXPI is basically testing that 200 zone. Should have that's a nice bottoming pattern. Should have a nice upside move. I'm not familiar with it. But again, the semis are still hot. SMH is that ETF. So I would say above if NXPI can get above 200 and hold, it should look pretty solid. Above 200 and hold. Now you could enter also, or at least I would be looking at this bull flag here. It's not the cleanest bull flag, but it is sort of bull flagging here, right? The issue is you want the Qs in your favor. If any, look at like Tesla is failing hard. Yep. So that was a nice opening scalp, but to really have things to follow through, I think we need a little more consolidation. We'll see if the SPY can hold view up. So yeah, NXPI is definitely has some potential. It is bull flagging into that previous support. Right? It is bull flagging to that previous support. But more importantly, what I always say is you want to have the Qs in your favor. So once the Qs break this downtrend, and they are supporting a lot, they're starting to climb a little higher. Once they get above 365, then I think, tech starts to have another leg, or at least the moves will be a little more sustainable if you're speaking of, a longer swing trade. If you're looking day trading, it really doesn't matter. You're looking more micro, but a lot of people, that's a little tougher to look at if you're trying to be very technical. Not a whole lot of setups. Like I said before, probably the best setup that I've seen for me personally is this on this morning is Tesla. This nice bull flag, right? This is I love this. This is beautiful to me. This is absolutely beautiful. Bull flag, white. First sharp move away from price. We move up tough. We move up sharply, right? Pretty explosive, and then we pull back, form a bull flag. We move higher, right? So this was a nice setup. Missed it, but hey, it is what it is. I'm already kind of in Tesla in some options. I'm shorting it and longing it at the same time. So I don't want to get, too excited and just jump into something. Let's see, Meta looks like crap. I think Amazon personally looks the best. I like this bull flag on Amazon. There it is getting rejected. And if the S&P can hold this level, which we do get the news, we get the news coming out pretty soon. So we should have I think it's going to be negative. I think we're going to get some negative news here coming in. At least it should be. Okay, let's see. Why is it? Oh, there's no comments? No way. Okay, so I can't get Twitter comments, just YouTube. That's fine. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, I keep my eye on Amazon here. I do like this pull in for Amazon. And the real question is, hey, can the Qs get above that level, bro? Can the Qs get above this 364, 365 level? I'm not seeing it. Yeah, Tesla's breaking down. Dang. That was a nice rejection at 257. Now we're starting to, for Tesla at least, we are starting to stair step lower. And it's still early. You know, it is still early. Let's see if we're above VWAP. We're losing VWAP for Tesla. Not good. So it is still early, but we're getting rejected by the trend. Okay, I know this was the pre-market trend. Yeah, this is pretty much that downtrend. So we're back in the downtrend. A lot of people got excited there. We need a little more. We need a little more support. We need some more consolidation for the continuation to really confirm, to get that confirmation on the continuation. I just think for me, the overall market needs to be in your favor, and it is consolidating. Let's say you bought a call option. You better aim a little further out. All right, Amazon showing support. Nice. You definitely got to aim a little further out. Wow, nice little bounce. But I still don't trust it completely. I want to wait for the economic data to come out. And hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it comes out and it blows up. But what do we got? We got like a minute and a half. Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. This is basically the Dallas manufacturing activity, basically Texas region, right? Texas region for manufacturing. Is it going to be negative? Is it going to be positive? It was pretty bad previously, so we'll see if it prints in better. I want to wait for that to come out before I get too excited about anything. And then we'll see how the market reacts to that. We got about, 35 seconds? Appreciate it, Sid. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, NXPI is the semiconductor. It looks straight. I mean, the market, you just want the Qs. You want the tech, you want the tech sector, or you want to look at the big picture for the Qs. And once the Qs find more support and finally move higher, then NXPI and all those semiconductors, they should carry them, should just keep carrying them to the upside. But it has a nice bottoming pattern, clear resistance. Once it gets above 200, NXPI, it holds. It should be good. All right, what is this? What are we getting here? Let's go. Still waiting for it to print. Dang, who was this morning? Spain producer prices are negative 6.9%. Bro, inflation's getting crushed. It's starting to get crushed in a lot of areas. Spain is negative. Spain is now negative on inflation. All right, how is the market going to respond to this? Oh, Tesla's starting to bottom there. 255. I'm still not getting the data. I don't know why it's delayed so bad. Let me double check somewhere else. Should have came out. Are they late delivering the data? Oh, there it is. Negative 23.6. Okay, previously 29. So it recovered a little bit. The Dallas region manufacturing recovered a bit, still negative. So still, it basically gives the Fed more reason to not hike because we're not getting the. Well, first of all, why are they're not going to hike unless inflation goes higher in a meaningful way? Oh, the hell happened there? You guys can still hear me, right? Ooh, I'm gonna have to switch. Let's see. Let me switch my webcam. There we go. Well, that sucks. Let me charge this. Yeah, Amazon failing. That's exactly why I didn't want to jump into anything. All that data came out. Now things are starting. So if you scalped this morning on the open, which is really tough, you might have been successful to the upside. But no carry through, right? No carry through. This is not a carry through day. Not yet, anyways. Because now that data is coming out, I'm pretty sure everything is starting to collapse. No, not completely collapse, but we are starting to see things slow down. Open door looks pretty nice though. I've been looking at this for a while. I'm gonna go over some bigger time frame swing trades because those are a lot easier to look at. You can slow down, see what they look like. Let me just charge this battery to my other camera. I'll be right here. AMD starting to fail. Look at that. AMD's failing. Amazon starting to fail. Tesla coming right back. Market basically said nope. See, I have that button too, so I'm gonna get this working. It won't have the best sound, but I'm gonna work on it while we're evaluating the market. We got time anyway. And then let me throw the charts. You guys can't see this, but this is basically FinViz. I'm looking at FinViz to see if there's any setups on my filters. TNA, bro, I heard somebody saying TNA on one of my videos. They said TNA to 200. They're insane. Some people are insane. They're calling for 6,000 S&P, or what is it? 6,000 S&P, something like that. 600 S&P this year. I'm like, bro, all-time highs. I think we go to all-time highs this year in the S&P. The way the setup is looking is very possible. But yeah, that's pretty clickbaity. So what is TNA? This is a 3x bull for financials? I don't think so. That dude is bullish on financials. Financials don't even move that much. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. So here's S&P. Basically came back to PDC. So it came back to the previous day close. We found support. Maybe we consolidate for the rest of the day. We'll see how this turns out. All right. All right. I need to get rid of that sound. Alert. Is that what that is? Alert volume? Oh, shoot. Okay. That's what that is. Yeah, we're gonna have to pause those notifications. Dang, we're getting a mean pullback though. S&P just totally failed at that zone to the upside. So here we go, consolidating for the rest of the day until we get a bigger move. Let's see, we might be able to talk macro now that we're now that we're waiting. Let's see. Well, China has that for when it comes to Bitcoin anyway, China has just released, I don't know if they released it recently or if it's already been there, but the what is it? The SHCB, SCHB something. They released the Bitcoin Ethereum ETF. So there you go. More reason to be bullish on Bitcoin over the next 18 months. While global liquidity is starting to turn up. All right, here it is. Follow the flows. So I guess I can throw this up if I get Twitter. Let me see if I get Twitter up there. Find this out. Selling prices edge down. Yeah, good. Should be heading lower. This is Tom Lee. Wow, weekly crypto asset flows are starting to rise sharply. Great. Great, great, great. All right, there it is. All right, let's see if I can share this while we wait to find support on the spies. Spies getting crushed. Spies getting absolutely crushed here. Man, this sucks, dude. This sucks when it comes to the camera stuff. Like, why has it got to be so difficult? Man, people, I give respect to people who stream though for a while now because that's a lot of technical stuff you got to deal with. It's probably why a lot of people just quit. A lot of technical stuff you got to deal with. All right, let me see if I could share this. I know Meet Kevin does a really good job of switching between slides. No, not Google Slides. Present. Oh, you know what? This is how you do it. Okay, so I push the camera back here, and then window. See if this will work. All right, cool. Yeah, there we go. Nope, nope. There we go. Okay. Well, this will work. This isn't terrible, right? So no, we're just looking at I wanted to click on this because this is what investors are not. You can't even. I guess you got to zoom in a little bit. See if I can zoom in. Good. Invest. This is a Bank of America's global research, by the way. Right. While the market sells off pretty sharply, I think there's going to be some opportunities for swing trades. You see AMD starting to fail, Tesla starting to fail. We find support. That's what I'm thinking of. So while we're waiting, let's take a look at this. So 1 week net flows into personal digital asset wallets. ETH had the most upside, the most people buying the dip on Ethereum, and then Bitcoin, negative USDC and US. So stable coins, the flows of stable coins are flowing into BTC and ETH. And we actually see ETH getting a little more flow. So I think that takes us to the technicals. Let's check out the technicals on ETH. So boom, I got to get quick at this. I got to get fast at doing this switch. All right, cool. So let's check out the daily technicals on ETH. I'm super bullish on Ethereum. Let's see. All right, so this is S&P. We're moving up. I think people tend to forget that that crypto actually moved up before the stock market started making this breakout. We moved up in crypto first. We bottomed first. We sold. Well, we sold off first in 2021, bottomed first, and now I think we're going to get that second leg or that third leg for crypto. So this is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. You know, we had that nice. We're breaking out of the big wedge. This is the key thing here for Bitcoin. We're finally out of that bull flag. I'm sorry. We're out of that daily, weekly, long-term bull flag, right? We are above, I believe, all the moving averages on the daily chart. So this is super bullish. We're above the 50. The 200 is in red. Green is the 50, and the 100 is blue. So we're above all the moving averages on the daily chart for Bitcoin. Very sharp technical setup, right? Right above here, if you follow the newsletter, you would see I said, hey, Bitcoin is ready to rip out of this bull flag. Is that next leg? We got a narrative now. We have the fundamentals starting to support us. China and Japan are liquefying. They're increasing liquidity in their markets and their economies. That's going to fuel crypto assets even further. And now you see Bank of America showing that the flows are going into ETH. Right now, ETH hasn't really broken out on a technical basis yet. ETH is starting to consolidate here at these. It got above the bull flag, right? So we're breaking the bull flag, but it hasn't made its big move. A lot of capitulation here to the upside for ETH. And man, it doesn't look pretty. It's not the best setup, but we do know ETH doesn't move like Bitcoin. ETH always has vertical flag patterns. So for instance, like Bitcoin will do this. It'll have this dragon wedge. It'll come up and it'll wedge down and then break out, right? That's Bitcoin. But Ethereum does this. Ethereum will come up and it'll have this vertical, ugly, I guess it's not a wedge, just it's a flag. It's a vertical flag and then it breaks out. So Ethereum looks different. That's what I'm starting to see here. Is it might have that vertical flag where it's not a great technical setup, but it still breaks out. I think that's what we might see on ETH. It's going higher, guys. I'm sorry, like it's going higher. The pressure, the supply is starting to. The supply is low. The actual demand is starting to pick up now, and this is a big mover. Dang, AMD is getting crushed right now. I'm keeping my eye on some of these swing trades that I want to get into, and they're getting crushed right at the open. So we can't get above that trend. We cannot get above that trend. So that's Ethereum. The other way to look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, obviously, is to look at the ETH to BTC chart. Now, I want to put this on the daily, maybe even the monthly chart. It's a little easier to see. And this is basically the chart that says if Ethereum, breaks out, then the momentum should head right to outpace Bitcoin over this next cycle into 2025. I think that's the case because DeFi is going to be huge. DeFi is going to be pretty huge. I think that's going to be the case. So, I'm still keeping my eye on this ETH to BTC chart. And then if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, that's also breaking out. And that simple moving average doesn't really matter. So Bitcoin dominance is also breaking out. Chainlink is now finding support there. Anyways, I just want to take a look at that because the crypto narrative, I think, starts to, basically catch fire here. And one of those proxies is MSTR. So MicroStrategy, and this is not advice at all, but MicroStrategy has a 30% short float right now, meaning it could get short squeezed if Bitcoin starts moving up. MicroStrategy holds so much Bitcoin that it should also move. And if that is the case, then we're going to see a big squeeze. And here's the level. Here's the next resistance level really for MSTR. So above what, 360, 375. I think that's where we start squeezing for MSTR because that would get Bitcoin above 32K. And the next resistance is about 37,000 for Bitcoin. So MSTR for sure has a lot of upside if it squeezes, but the options chain sucks. It's not the best options chain. Okay. And that's why I'm like not so interested in it. It's expensive. You're gonna pay a high cost for the spread also. VIX 14, so we're getting a little move in the VIX to the upside. Let's jump back into the Let's go ahead and jump back into the stock market. See what we got going on here. What about Carvana? Is it still squeezing? Nope. Carvana might be setting up for a bigger squeeze, though. Might be setting up for a bigger squeeze later down the road, for sure. All right, so coin had that big move. That's 2 days in a row for coin. Tesla coming right back down to support. That's not a terrible move, though. So yeah, that was that Twitter for Ethereum, or for at least for crypto. The weekly crypto asset flows are starting to pick up, and most of those flows are going into Ethereum. We got most of those flows going into Ethereum, and then so yeah, watching the technicals is going to be key going forward. What else do we got coming into the pipeline? And then we got the Russia instability starting to clear out. I'll be right back. All right, so well, Tesla is finding support at the pre-market highs, clear support at the pre-market highs. That's a very strong capitulation. So we still got buyers, which is why this will be interesting. I got 250 calls here. Had them for a while, but still a lot of pressure there. A lot of buying pressure at the at 250. So a lot of buying pressure for Tesla at 250. Let's see what the Qs are starting to do. The Qs are starting to find a little bit of support at PDC. We are squeezing in the pipeline here. And what's going to be the catalyst to take us higher? On a technical basis, it could just be, well, really not the catalyst ain't going to be technical. Well, the technicals will once we get above what 435 on the S&P, we need to get above the previous couple day highs from Friday. And if we get above 435, that will be a slight technical catalyst. But more than that, we need or a little further, a little deeper. We're gonna need some more. What do we got coming out? We got durable good orders, and it's really questionable what the market wants to see right now. Does it want to see weakness in the? Does it want to see weakness in the economy or strength? Right. It's kind of tough to understand what it wants to see, because weakness means the Fed continues their pause. Strength, actually, weakness might actually point to cutting rates further, but it also points to keeping the pause and not hiking rates. Where weakness might point to the recession, but it also means cutting rates. So I think it's a win-win either way. I think you're pretty much in a win-win when it comes to the market, especially when there's no liquidity pressure coming from the U.S. Treasury. And I know a lot of people like that narrative, where the Treasury filling the TGA, the Treasury General Account, is going to be bearish for risk assets, pushing up rates. But what's happening there is the reverse repo facility at the Fed is actually absorbing the TGA. They're absorbing all that liquidity by leaving the reverse repo, 2 point something trillion dollars, not all of it at once, but all that money in the reverse repo and the Fed's facility is actually starting to buy the US Treasuries. That's what it looks like anyway. And if that's the case, you don't really get liquidity leave the market. So the market needs to actually digest this move to see if we're going to get rates higher or if there's going to be more liquidity. And I think that's what we're on the macro side anyways, what we're trying to figure out. What's going to happen here? Is liquidity going to leave the system or not? I don't think so. I don't think so. And until then, a lot of this data also speaks towards earnings. Are earnings going to collapse? Who is it? Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson. He's very bearish on earnings. He thinks that's the negative catalyst to take us back to the lows, or at least take us back to 40. I think he said 3,800. So earnings recession. We'll see what happens. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of liquidity in the pipeline. Now, some companies will probably get crushed for sure, but big tech, I just don't see it happening. I think the earnings are bottoming for big tech, for mega caps anyway. And also for Tesla, you have China. China continues to extend their tax credits for EVs. So that's going to be a positive tailwind for Tesla, for EVs in general, over in China. Now, the ECB in Europe is tightening rates, so that'll be a negative catalyst for growth for those multinationals, companies that are in other countries, well, Europe specifically. So that might be negative. They're increasing rates there, but again, like I said, we'll keep our eye on it. There's a lot of catalysts, and ultimately, I just think this pullback gets bought up. So we're gonna keep our eye on that. AMD right back down. Now, this might be a double bottom for AMD. This might be the double bottom. I'm keeping my see if this thing can actually keep up in this zone. So where is it struggling? It's struggling at 111. Got down to 107. This thing moves so fast. Moves so fast. Nvidia, wow. Nvidia is dropping the wow. I know a lot of people are starting. I think a lot of people are going to try to short Nvidia here. A lot of people are going to probably try to short Nvidia under this 420 level. It hasn't really gotten above, and this might be some more. This might be a signal for the Qs to roll over. Possibly it could be a signal for the Qs to roll over. But Nvidia is getting smashed here. We'll see if the buyers step in. The pre-market low is at 418, and this is below the breakout level that we saw after that huge upside move from earnings. So if this is a gigantic, well, I guess this isn't the gap. This is just the all-time high that it made. Get rid of this. So this is the all-time high that it made. And was there a gap up on Nvidia? AMD getting rejected by PDC. I'm trying to see if Nvidia has a gap to fill. Not really. Okay, it doesn't really have a gap to fill. Maybe it comes back to 410. Yeah, it'll be tough to try to short Nvidia. That's going to be tough. Definitely short-term support is starting to fail, though, for Nvidia. Short-term support is starting to fail. Let's go to the 30-minute. I like to look at the 30-minute chart. Yeah, so you got a little more support here. It's making lows. This is like 3 days in a row. It's made new lows for Nvidia. So if the overall market rolls over, then yeah, we could get it. We could get that short on Nvidia. So many people I know are trying to short Nvidia. But you'd need the Qs to really start rolling over, and it's just not happening yet. The Qs are not rolling over yet. It's not over yet. And then ARK, how's ARK doing? What is ARK looking like? It looks like ARK is starting to bottom. This is good news for risk assets. ARK is starting to bottom. Tesla shares mostly unchanged despite weakened Goldman Sachs downgrade. So we had Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley downgrade, and still there's a lot of buying pressure. Still a lot of buying pressure. It's not going to change that fact. So yeah, ARK still pretty strong over the past couple days. Trading days anyway. And then I'm wondering too, is it bullish for the market? The Wagner, Putin and the Wagner group, all that drama over there in Russia, is that bullish for the market? Are we going to get a resolution here? All right, Amazon is starting to step back up. Amazon is stepping back up from that sell-off. There's got to be some strength here for Amazon. Ugh, what a nasty pattern. But the buyers keep stepping in. The buyers keep stepping in. We're back above VWAP, holding 130.50 again. Tight little range here between I mean, you almost want to say 131, but I guess that's just for today. Yeah, that's just for today. All right, open door. Like I said, I'm trying to swing trade open door. It's started to find a bottom lately. The housing market is starting to bottom also, not price wise because prices lag, but Italy is considering reopening mines for raw materials. Does that make commodities go lower? Who knows? Anyways, yeah, I've been watching this open door move. It's climbing, and really I'm looking at the break of this $3 level. I think it needs to hold $3. There's a lot of short interest in the stock, a lot of short interest here, and sort of has a cup and handle. Now, if this doesn't hold though, right? If this trend doesn't hold, then I'll exit this because let me take off VWAP so it doesn't look so messy. It sort of looks like a cup and handle. It's not like super, it's not super clear, but definitely you have this part, right? The retest of 3, and then now you got here. So that's what I'm kind of looking at on a technical basis. They should be recovering from fundamental standpoint. I mean, this stock was at 30 bucks and it got down to 92 cents. Right. And it did have a short squeeze to the upside, but I think it will start finding some momentum. There's a lot of analysts still bullish on open door. Now, what I need to figure out is if it can, where the exit is exactly, the break of this trend. And let's see if we break this trend to the downside, and that's an ascending flag, which isn't really that bullish. I don't really like that. But does it have history of breaking out on the ascending trend? Maybe, maybe not. Dang, that was some big sell volume there on last Friday. That's sort of a red flag right there. And this is on the daily chart. A lot of sell volume. I believe that was on Friday. So on the daily chart, the question for me is whether open door can hold the previous day close. Right? Can we actually hold this level? Definitely got to hold that level. All right, Tesla's still trying to hold 250, 250. 250, 250. That's the level it held this morning. See what else we got coming in the pipeline. Yeah, okay. Well, We are consolidating at the support line. Is Nvidia really oh, Nvidia's starting to get smashed. Here we go. They're selling it hard. Wow, they're selling it hard. So those semiconductor plays may be getting sold off with it. AMD is starting to fill it now. There might be an let me see SMH. Maybe SMH ETF is no, it's not. The SMH ETF is not getting smashed. This is more individual. Well, it's the VanEck semiconductor play. So here we go. AMD back to the lows. And this is exactly why you stay patient on Monday, because there's a lot of excitement at the open and people pile in. They might, they might make a nice move to the upside, but then it's like, oh, this is going higher. I'm going to hold it. Everything gets crushed. So let the market digest Monday. Maybe you scalp if you're a scalper. If you're not, you just take a breather. I want to see AMD hold that gap that it filled previously at 108.50. Actually, it was 108.34, I believe. That's where I have it marked. 108.34. And then man, TSM coming back down. Nvidia is really getting ripped though. It just lost support. You could trade, well, I don't know if I would want to do that, but it is oversold already. It's pretty oversold. But if it does pull back in, Nvidia looking rough. Yeah, if it does pull back in and get rejected by VWAP and PDC, it could. This is a very clean momentum short. But if it does pull back in and gets rejected again, that's something to look at, because a lot of people will pile into this. They still believe it's overbought, right? A lot of people are still believing this is extremely overbought, and that might be the case. But how many fund managers still need to buy this? So there might be some buyers down here still coming in. Also, Target. I know Target got downgraded. Oh, they're moving up. Okay, Target got downgraded, and I don't know how serious it actually is. Looks like it is finding buyers down here, so it's not completely negative. But let me see. Is this a gap that it needs to fill? 135. Let's look at the target. You got a nice consolidation zone here. For Target, it's actually entering that zone. Maybe some people short at 135. Who knows? Yeah, this looks like a rough market for today. Looks rough. Maybe no follow through till the second half of the day, but the Qs are right back to PDC. Looks like they're starting to fail. S&P is really rolling over. Got rejected by VWAP. That's pretty clear. That's pretty clean. I mean, see, where's IWM? IWM also starting to roll over a bit. Man, what a trap! What a trap this morning. Everything moves up pretty strong and rolls right over. Everything rolls right over. So yeah, there you go. SPY accelerating to the downside. I'm going to see if there's anything new coming into the market that's giving us that sell signal, or if it's literally just supply and demand. What is he talking about? Biden is tweeting about 35. This is earlier, by the way. This is not Reese, is like 30 minutes ago. President Biden tweets 35,000 infrastructure projects and billions of dollars in private sector manufacturing investment are coming to communities all across America because of our investment in America's agenda. So he is pumping the infrastructure projects narrative. But the truth is, all that infrastructure will keep the economy stronger than expected, right? Because that's a lot of stimulus. That is right there. That is pure fiscal stimulus. Pure fiscal stimulus coming into the market. Other than that, that's about it. So those manufacturing indexes will probably bounce over the next couple months. We'll see. We get the PMI coming in soon. the ISM PMI. That's an important factor for the business cycle. And I think once the PMI bottoms, that's going to be a clear signal that the market's moving up. All right, now let me check what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like on TOS. IWM can't break over VWAP or under 200 EMA on the 1 minute chart. All right, I'll look at IWM. What I might do is use this for macro and then switch and then use the other stuff. So I'm gonna switch any news causing this for Nvidia. Actually, I didn't even check that. Let me check Nvidia really quick. Let's run through this. Ooh, man, Nvidia is getting crushed. Wow, it's getting absolutely crushed. That's a sharp move. I haven't seen this move in Nvidia for a while. Let's see. Is there anything new? I don't see anything though. Maybe maybe I'm off. I don't have the best news. Is anybody got any Nvidia news? I don't see anything. I don't see anything. But anyways, yeah, let me switch the screen to TOS. I want to see how it looks on here since we're still in the iteration phase. Go back to full screen, and maybe this is the best way to do it. All right, let's see how this looks. All right, I'll resize it. Let me resize it up. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, I like that. So this is what I'm usually looking at. FYI, this is a screen I usually trade off of. I'm so used to TOS. Seems a little laggy. Seems a little laggy. Let me get rid of, am I missing some applications? Seems a little laggy. Oh, also, I forgot about that. We're going to go over some macro charts. Let me get rid of this. I don't need this. I don't need this. Should see if we could speed this up. Yeah, there's some nice macro charts we're going to go over from Raoul Paul. We're definitely going to go over that while we see Nvidia get squeezed. So this is the chart I'm usually looking at. Maybe I'll stick with this. It obviously might work for YouTube. I think this will actually work for YouTube. So we can keep there. It's not as fast as the other one. So I'll figure out how to get that. Also, we can read the tape on here. So let's say I'm in a day trade and, there's, oh, no, not active trader. But let's say there's some trading going on, level 2. Actually, I wouldn't use level 2. I would not use level 2, this level 2. You can, but I don't like the setup. Let me see. Can you move this over? Or does it move? Nah, it moves everything over. Nah, I don't want to do that. So there's some level 2 stuff you can do. But the tape is definitely clear. You can see all the orders coming in on the tape here at the side. But yeah, Nvidia is getting smashed. Wow. Let me take this off. All right, cool. There we go. Hey, advanced decline is still climbing though. We got the advanced decline still moving up. So there is some market breadth. It's not negative. We're still in the positive. We're still positive. Wow, look at that. Yeah, this thing is slow, bro. This thing is a little slower. Anyways, here on the left, what I'm usually looking at is at the Qs. So I have a lot of resistance for the Qs. I'm actually going to redo this. And then I got the S&P. So tech, S&P, advanced decline here in the middle. I'm in the way, but you can't see there's the Dow and there's IWM. Oh, wow. It cut off IWM because of how the screen is. So YouTube doesn't look the best here. That's all right. All right, so IWM. Take a look at IWM. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here for IWM? Let's go to this 30-minute chart. All right, so IWM is, look like it filled the gap earlier. Let's see, is that resistance it's running into? Definitely let's draw this. Actually, let's see if I can edit this property. We can keep it gray. I guess I'll keep it there. All right, cool. So that's IWM. Finding some support. Finding some support at the previous highs. It also has to break this downtrend. So let's see what this downtrend is looking like. Wait, can I switch my tools from here? Oh, cool. I can switch it from here. All right. So IWM did break the intermediate downtrend, but again, we're not out of the woods yet. So you could swing trade this at this support if we hold 180.50. Maybe your stop's like 178.50. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I would stop below 180.50. If we start holding below that, you're in trouble. You're in trouble there. How does that look on TOS? Oh yeah, that looks straight. That looks straight. Okay. Now Tesla. I wonder how bad it's lagging. It might be lagging pretty bad. Dang, Tesla's getting smashed right back to 250, which I actually want to see this. I want to see it continue to come down. All right. Wow, that looks pretty good. That doesn't look bad. Maybe we get this big pullback. We might be getting a pullback in the overall market. It's only Monday though, so we don't know. It's only Monday. Opening buyers lose in QQQ for second day in a row. Below Wednesday and Friday support could see more sellers come in for a deeper market pullback. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So jump into the Qs. Let's go ahead and chart the Qs. All right, let's go ahead and chart the Qs. I'm going to start with the daily chart. And I'm going to switch this style to switch it to the macro and just get rid of all this stuff. I have a lot of stuff drawn on here. Clear draw set. This is how my process would be. So we got a clear chart for the Qs, right? Pretty clear. This is on TOS. I don't know if people use it, but this is TOS. Also, I want to look at the max daily chart so I can move it around. So this is the max daily chart, right? Here we are in the uptrend. So first, what is our long-term resistance level? And I think it's going to be more of a range than just one full level. So our long-term range for resistance is, I want to say it's just 370. I want to start with 370. We can see it back here. Yeah, we had some support at 370 way back February of 2021. So 370 whole number. That's our resistance right now, is about 370. So 370 to about 372. Yeah, that was the last high. That's our resistance level for the Qs, by the way. And I think we're going all-time highs this year. I think we're going to all-time highs. That's just my opinion, because I'm seeing the macro setup. When inflation comes back into the market, once we get some more inflation data, that's what the market wants to see. I think people discount the fact that when inflation collapses, or as it falls, your margins actually start to increase, or liquidity increases, because the haircut is reduced, right? Inflation is a haircut, it's reduced. Fed rate hikes are a haircut, and they're no longer going up, so the rate of change is starting to change. We just need bond yields to come down for the full cost of capital to reduce. All right, we're above all the moving averages on the Qs, right? We have a lot of support there. Now, more importantly, in the intermediate, breakout level, let's see what we're looking at here. This thing has been very vertical. It's been very vertical. See if I could do this. I need to get used to changing the tools from here. I don't usually do that. Nah, there's probably a way to do it. Anyways, so we're looking at the support levels, and I'm gonna come all the way back to March. I think March is where we had the big bounce. We had a big bounce in March. A lot more volume came into the market, and this is sort of the uptrend that we've been in since March, right? And I'm gonna draw that uptrend to the current resistance, and that's what we're looking like. We could pull all the way back or move sideways till we hit this trend, and that trend isn't like solid confirmation that for sure we're gonna come into the trend. It's just a way to track the history and the trend. It's just a way to track it. So this is the Qs. The Qs are leading the market. They've been leading the market for a while. We know that. That's not really questionable. On the upside, so the top side of the trend, are we above this upside trend? I don't even know if I want to draw that. Let's just keep it like this. All right, now diving a little deeper, it's pretty clear we have 350. What is this? 350. We have support around 350. We have resistance around 350, 750. I think personally, let me zoom in here. I think personally that we could come back to 350, 750. That was a level I looked at for a while. We do have a gap to fill at 354, so we could always fill that gap if things really start to roll over. But for the most part, 350, 750 is that prior resistance level that broke out. So yeah, 350, 750 right there. And then below that, you're looking at what do you want to call it? 350, 347, 348. Let's go to the 30-minute, see what that looks like. We're just doing some charting here. We're doing some charting to see what the overall market's going to do. Oh, there was a real gap at 360.50 also. So you have a gap here. You have a clear gap at this level. And maybe this might be better if it's solid because it's not a trend. I'll be watching this all week. So I will be watching this all week. And this is the level. So I want to make sure these levels are in. Yep, 357.50. That's the level that I think the Qs could pull into. So keep that in mind. 357.50 for the Qs. If they fail to hold this current support where the market basically gapped up, what is this, a couple of weeks ago? It gapped up a couple of weeks ago on Wednesday. It might have been a Fed meeting. Fed bids for 3-month bills total 5.2. No way, bro. The Fed is dude, yield curve control. Here we go. Here comes the liquidity to the market. Here comes more liquidity for the market. The Fed bidding on US Treasuries. Yeah, because the banks are sort of they got to get bond volatility down. One key to keeping the stock market afloat, which they have to, is to keep bond volatility low. The higher the bond volatility, the higher the rates for lenders. The higher that lenders set their rates because their collateral is a little shaky. If their collateral has a lot of volatility, they're gonna have to raise rates. They want more interest for that risk. So in order to get bond volatility down, the U.S. Treasury or the Fed is gonna have to not print, I'm sorry, they're gonna have to purchase those treasuries. And I think that's why we're just gonna move a lot higher from here. So next support, I think we're coming into 360.50. That's pretty clear by this gap that we hit 360.50, right? I think that's clear. So I'm gonna put this, I'm just gonna draw a red line here. This is the intermediate support. We should pull into that. So that's for the Qs. That's what we're looking at for the Qs. Now below this level for support, we're looking at what, 346.80, 347. I'm gonna call it 347, 347.50. Yeah, I'm gonna call it 347.50. So that's our level right there. Now this is the Qs. These are the Qs for the most part. All right, cool. So we could find support there. We'll see if that continues. Oh, no, not that chart. I don't want to see that chart. Now the downtrend, right? Now we're looking at the downtrend here. So if we draw the downtrend, what we see on the downtrend is we need to get above. Come on. It's a little slow here. IWM flush. Yeah, everything is flushing, bro. We're starting to flush a little bit. We're at a breaking point where we're either going to find support or we're going to drop to the next level, which is why I'm just charting. I'm just going to start charting here because I need to see these levels if we drop out. We'll get to IWM. We'll definitely get to IWM. Maybe this will look better if we do this because this is a big area, a big gap area for the Qs. Not gap, but that's a big missing piece for the Qs. We might find support there. All right, IWM. Oh, you know what? What about the previous day? Do we need to mark that up for the Qs? We might need to mark that up so we can see it in the on the other side. So right now, clearly 364, and I'm sticking to the Qs because the Qs are still leading this market. So I want to see this resistance, and what'll happen is in this top left-hand corner, I always trade the overall market. So I don't want to be pulling up the Qs chart. I just want to look in the top left corner and say, oh, shoot, the Qs are headed into resistance. I want to just see it there. So I kind of know like, all right, we're hitting resistance. Maybe take some profits or maybe be careful for entering something. Instead of flipping to the chart, I can just see it quickly. So I need to have my zones up right now. It's 364. 364. Should we go to 365? Maybe 365. Yeah, we can say 365. All right, I'm gonna go 365. So that's that next resistance. We're for the Qs, we're between 365 and 360.50. We might consolidate in this zone, and then we'll see where we go from there. I know you're looking at IWM, so I'm gonna switch to IWM really quick. All right, so IWM really very this is pretty clean. 182.65, 182.50. I think we already talked about this. IWM is 182.50. That's what you're looking at. 182.50. It needs to get above that level and it needs to hold 180.50. It is bouncing. Well, that's not the daily chart, but the 4-hour 200 EMA and the simple moving average on the E. Oh yeah, no, it is finding support. Look at IWM might be straight. We have a lot of support here. This was sort of the previous level at 180, 180.50. This was the previous level. You got the 50, you got the 100 moving average, the 200, and the 50-day moving average. It's above all of those. So maybe we just consolidate between 180, 180.50 for a while on IWM until we get, breath start to pick up again. Yeah, I wouldn't even bother. Today's choppy, soggy. Today's going to be very choppy. We had that morning flush. I'm sorry, we had that morning melt up and then everything sold off. And when you go up that strong and then you just sell off to make new lows, that's usually a reversal, like a signal of a reversal. You probably already know that. But it looks like a reversal signal to me. Which is why I want to see where the next support's at. If we're going to be reversing like this, where are the next supports? Qs are leading the market, so that's why I have that one. What is that? 30, 60, 50. We're not completely rolling over yet. S&P I have not looked at. So let's take a look at S&P. What is S&P looking like? I'm gonna go to that daily chart. I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff. And a lot of people, I know there's some people earlier that said, "How do you chart?" So we're pretty much doing the charting right now. Clear draw set. All right, so S&P has a couple. Well, this is SPY. This is not a SPX. It's going to look different. But I would say that the clearest support right now is like 432. 432 is the intermediate support. Yeah, I'm going to say 432. And then below that, I think it's 425. That's where, well, you have a couple. You have a couple. You have 422, 435. Yeah. So for SPY, 432. If we drop 432, then we probably come back to 429. I think I like that. That was pretty clear. And then below 429, you have 425. Actually, I wouldn't even say that support. I would probably come all the way back to this gap at 421, where we first had liftoff, where the short squeeze started. So those are my SPY levels. See what it looks like on the 30-minute chart. Yeah, that's pretty clean. I like that. I like that. 421-ish. Man, if we come all the way back down to that gap up, that's going to be a pretty nasty pullback. So I am trying to stay patient. I do not want to get caught in some big gap down on a market flush. Even though I know it gets bought up, I just want to get the best entry if we're going to, look for a swing trade here. So I guess there's a gap to fill at 429.80. I didn't even really see that on S&P. I think what I'll do is I'll just turn this into a zone. I'll just turn this into a zone. Yeah, this is a zone. I'm going to turn this into a zone. You can extend it to the right. Oh, well, that's fine. Do you have any advice on buying a house? I do not have buying a house advice. I would wait because housing prices are still falling as we speak. They're pretty delayed, but I think housing prices will come down. I think we're hitting deflation. And let me see. I know somebody who's really good when it comes to buying houses. He's a real estate guy. So I could always get him on. He could talk about, buying a house. We could set that up maybe as some content. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have a live. I'll get that guy on and have a live. What are your biggest questions, Soggy? What are your questions on? Do you have any specific questions when it comes to buying a house specifically? If you do, then that's even better because there's a lot of aspects to buying a house. I'm just not an expert on it, but I do know some experts. Where to even begin on buying a house? Okay. Where to even begin? Now, is this a lifestyle? Is this like a real estate or just buying a house in general? Just getting started buying a house in general, right? Where to even begin? Yeah, I gotta have Art on. I gotta have a guy on. He's really good with real estate, and he does houses all the time. I'm gonna have to have that dude do a. I'm gonna have to do a live with him, so he can spread that knowledge. Okay, yeah, that's pretty clear, I think. That's pretty clear for S&P. Now the previous days, let me double check what these previous days look. A few houses went up for sale near me and I like them, but not sure where to start. So for now, I want to buy a house for myself, but not opposed to learning about it. Other stuff too. Okay. All right. Um, yeah, let me check with this guy. Let me see if he wants to do a stream on buying houses. I can check with him right now. I keep in contact with him on a weekly basis. So he's a real estate guy. See if he'll be open to doing a stream. All right, so we'll see. We'll see how that comes in. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy, so I just want to have a lot of questions for him when it comes down to it, so that he knows what to answer specifically. But definitely, what I'll do is I'll send a message on YouTube and say I'll let you know if we set that stream up, what day it's going to be, because you can send the messages on YouTube. Just like, oh, we're gonna have a live doing talking about housing. So yeah, we could do that for sure. It's a really good question. All right, so yeah, S&P previous day highs are previous day support is going to be what, 434? I think that 434 zone is what I was peeping out. US 3-month bill auction. I know this is pretty nerdy, but that those money market funds should actually start losing demand that everybody's talking about. I think we're going to start losing demand there because the US Treasury, what they're doing is they are supplying US Treasuries at a higher rate, a higher interest rate than the money market funds. So they're sucking liquidity out of money market funds to basically support the government's operations. That's good. And what they're doing is they're sending 3-month, 6-month treasuries out, not sending them out, but they're selling 3 and 6-month treasuries at a higher rate. Not that they can change the rate, but they're at a higher rate already on the yield curve. And people who want to collect interest, well, shoot, why not buy a bond that is going to collect more interest than the money market fund in the matter of 6 months versus a year? So you could buy 2 bonds, or you could roll it and you're going to get more interest. So basically you collect more interest on the bond versus the money market fund, and that liquidity is leaving money market funds going into um, the US Treasury general account. And that's just some nerdy stuff there. It's not like it's really hard to prove, but that's the experts. My understanding, that's kind of what's going on. And that's why I said, on the macro report last week that the TGA, as it is starting to refill, we're seeing the reverse repo starting to fall, starting to drain. So that might be a result of that. Other stuff too. Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good stream, man. We can definitely get that started. I know there's some people that would want to hear about that when it comes to housing, especially with prices coming down. Whoa, what the heck's going on? Yeah, this seems like a dead market. Oh, and then also we passed that not we, but the SEC passed the Bitcoin ETF 3x leverage. That's pretty insane, man. 3x leverage. So they don't want to pass the spot ETF Because if they do, if they pass the spot ETF, well, I mean, oh, dang, oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. Tesla getting ripped. Let me throw. I'm looking at this other chart, but Tesla also getting ripped. I like this. This is healthy. This is not bad, guys. This is healthy. Just getting the market to rip lower, and it's not like it's just getting destroyed. It's consolidating. It's making new lows. This is actually really good for to flesh out some of those people who are short at the top, get new buyers in. This is going to bring in new buyers because the market just rocket. It basically just launched without a lot of people because they're still in cash. So we're going to get some new buyers coming into the market. This is good news. Tesla under 250. Good. ZM. I'm going to look at some of these swing trades. So if you didn't already know, if you're paying attention here, let me know if you guys want to hear about something else. But ZM, I am swing trading ZM. Look at this gigantic. Actually, you need the log chart for this. This is not a great setup. See, how do you get the log chart on TOS? There we go. Log, use the log scale. Still doesn't look right. There we go. And then let me take this off. Yeah, this is what I'm looking at when it comes to ZM. I'm looking at this. Let's go to daily. I'm looking at this big downtrend. And we see ARC starting to move a little bit. The Q's obviously already breaking out. Clear draw set. Let's redraw this stuff here. All right, there we go. So ZM's all-time high was 588. That's pretty insane. That was going into COVID, right? Now they have competition with Microsoft Teams. Who else they got? They got competition now. They do, but it's extremely oversold, and supposedly, we don't know if this is going to happen. I think it does. Everybody's using AI. That they have an AI application coming out, and people still use Zoom. And I see a lot of people on CNBC, they're using Zoom. So people are still using. It's not like they're not using it. And I think it has first mover advantage for sure. So I like this swing trade, anyways, just to see. And if the narrative changes, then I'll get out. But for now, it's definitely starting to shift. Man, this is weird. This thing tried to break out so many times. I think this is probably the best way to draw it. Yeah, it tried to break out a couple times. Didn't happen. US 6-month bill auction bid to cover ratio at 2.73. Yep, there's a lot of short-term treasuries that are being offloaded on the market right now. Is that pushing up yields? A good question is it going to push up yields or not? All right, so yeah, ZM with this very clear. Could be a trap though. Could be a trap because it is coming from the highs. But we are holding the 50-day on ZM, holding the 50-day moving average. We got rejected by the 100-day moving average. And there's just a lot of room to run for this thing. Right? Same thing with Roku. Same thing with Roku. But I'm not as convicted as I am when it comes to like Tesla. Not as much conviction, but Roku also looks good. And Roku's finding support. Oh, wow. Roku got above these daily moving averages. It's holding that 100. This is kind of odd, though. You got a golden cross here, golden cross here, golden cross here, but then you get a bearish cross here. So that's kind of weird. All right, yeah, Soggy, if you're still on there, he said yes. He's actually in the process of selling a house right now. So for sure, we could set that up. All right, yeah, we'll get it set up. But yeah, he said he can do it. And once we get it set up, I'll just let you know. I'm also doing a stream on Wednesday. I'm gonna go over the macro with some guys from Switzerland on Wednesday. I'm still waiting for the details on that. And that is for I think it'll be on Instagram. It should be on Instagram. Maybe I'll get them to do it on YouTube. I gotta call that guy today. Because hey, a lot of people are misinformed. They didn't think we're gonna be in this bull market. And I think we still have a long way to go to the upside. Yeah, so Roku, wow, look at that selling pressure. That is insane. I think we're reversing on Roku, definitely starting to reverse. This might actually be a nice call option to the highs. Obviously, you're looking very far out though, very far out, 6 to 12 months out. But before anybody buys a 6-month option, I'm not saying you should do it. You definitely want the Qs and the S&P to show support, to start finding support before you do that, because you don't want to get eaten away by that theta. Definitely don't want to get eaten away by that theta on the way. All right, so 285. Cool. I'm going to switch to not take a small break, but I'm going to switch to this macro report. I just want to get some film on this. Give me a small little break, and hopefully you get the stream back so I can do the commercials again. I'll be right back. All right, and then we're coming into that 9-minute mark. So yeah, let me get some. Let's get streamed. Let's get recorded. Let's get this recorded really quick. There we go. Present slides. Global macro investor. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on this. There we go. All right, so this is Raoul Paul. If you guys aren't familiar with him, he runs Global Macro Investor. He used to be Goldman Sachs options trader / hedge fund manager, and he retired, and he's a big crypto guy. So he is a little more biased, but he called the bottom back in October. I think he's a very smart guy. He's made a lot of progress and He's been right about a lot of things. So I just want to go over. He had these charts that came out recently, and I like to use his charts in my report because it all makes sense. And this is basically S&P 500 average peak in CPI from 1950 to 2018. And I actually showed this earlier in the year, and it was hard to believe, but it was basically showing how the S&P, once CPI peaks well, the CPI is not on here, but once CPI peaks, the blue line is the average return for the S&P, the average performance anyway. And so far, we got that CPI peak, and that CPI peak was at the zero bound. I think, can you see the mouse? Yeah, you can. So that CPI peak was here at the zero bound. And ever since we peaked in CPI, we bottomed 20 weeks later, 30 weeks later, 40 weeks later. We finally broke out 50. This is not weeks. What is that? I don't know what that can't be 50 weeks. That'd be a whole. Is that 50 weeks? No, because CPI bottomed in 52 weeks would be a year. So that would have meant that we're near October. So I don't think this is weeks. Either way, that's not important. The point is the historical trajectory of the S&P has moved up a lot further from here. As a matter of fact, we should be at all-time highs by the end of the year, according to this historical chart. Now, this doesn't mean we will be, but it just gives you more reason to think, hey, this is a stronger mark than we think. Okay, chart number 2, the U.S. Empire Philly price pressure composite versus U.S. CPI year over year. What does that really mean before I read into it? Price pressures are how much manufacturers are paying to run their operations versus CPI year over year. And the reason why that's important is because you always hear wage inflation, or inflation in general, and inflation's coming down. And so that's showing in the supply side of inflation, which is how much manufacturers have to pay to run their operations. If it's cheaper, then economic growth expands and earnings expand, XYZ, etc. Right? So we see here, despite some respectable macro thinkers talking about an imminent turn higher in inflation, we disagree. If anything, short-term inflationary pressures continue to collapse. And according to the June Empire Philly Fed data, price pressures just fell to their lowest level since May of 2020. So I'm guessing that has a 5-month lead on CPI. So price pressures, he's saying, has a 5-month lead on CPI year over year, which is leading CPI year over year to be basically near negative. Well, probably not negative, but we'll get to that 2% target faster than people believe, right? That's headline CPI, by the way. So manufacturing prices lead CPI headline, and it's by 5 months, and it's pointing to CPI being much lower in the next 5 months. Maybe we get, maybe the Fed cuts without a recession. That'd be like the perfect scenario. You get rate cuts without a recession. That's going to hyper inflate the stock market. That's very good news. Okay, just to be clear, we continue to anticipate a period of outright price deflation ahead of the next inflationary episode, which we expect to be a story for 2024. So basically here, New York Fed Global Supply Chain Pressures Index, we pointed this out like 6 months ago that it was already back to normalized levels. Now it's going negative. So again, the leading indicator for CPI is going to be the Supply Chain Pressure Index, and it's basically pointing to CPI collapsing to, let's see, do they match 1 for 1 usually? It's really pointing for CPI to go negative. That's insane. All right. It's a 5-month lead. So we'll see, maybe 2% by the end of the summer. Median price of existing one-family homes year over year versus CPI shelter. So this is all inflation report. We've been warning about the U.S. housing price deflation. This is still very much a play out, negative 3% year over year in May. And this is why it's like, hey, just wait. Housing prices should come lower. That's what we're seeing in the real-time data, right? Redfin, Zillow rents for the U.S. anyway. I don't know if everybody's in the U.S. And then Case-Shiller home price indexes are basically pointing at, house inflation to be negative and prices to continue to fall. Excuse me. So shelter is the thing that is keeping core. This is really the key here, that shelter inflation is really the key component to keep core up. This whole inflation is sticky is really about shelter. So if shelter is falling in real time, and it's only a matter of time before that comes into play on the Fed's data, then we can expect shelter to collapse, therefore CPI collapse, therefore core collapses, therefore the Fed can cut rates, therefore the market can recover. Like, there's just a lot of this is huge. I think this is one of the best, other than the chart of oil. This is very important to understand this, that shelter is rolling over and the supply of houses is going up. We already see that in the data. Housing built, right? Building new home sales, not new home sales, housing starts is moving up. It had the biggest move last month. So the supply is coming online too, while the prices are falling. That's much lower. And this is why I'm extremely bullish on the market, because the technicals, I'm sorry, the macro setup is almost near perfect. It's a perfect macro setup with the short squeeze. And yes, right now we're feeling pain in the stock market because it's a pullback. We just went vertical. We just had a short squeeze. Of course, right? Now, this next pullback is probably the last one in my view, unless we have a black swan. All right, so now the ISM versus the global manager index. This is basically the business activity being led by this being led by the GMI price pressure, which is basically his research on what leads the ISM global manufacturing index. Okay, short for economic growth is starting to bottom. Is basically what he's saying here. Economic growth is starting to bottom, and he's saying that this is also why we've been less focused on the ISM numbers and prefer to look at indicators which are more forward-looking, like the GMI price pressures index being a prime example. So in white is the ISM. I always talk about the ISM. This is actually who I got it from, the Raoul Paul. A lot of other people talk about it too, Lynn Alden. And the ISM usually leads the business cycle. It is inverted here. It's actually inverted here. And what leads it is the blue thing. The blue line is price pressures. And if price pressures lead the ISM, well, price pressures are coming down. And inversely, ISM should be going up, right? Now, on here, it should be going down, but it's inverted. So it's really going up. And the ISM going up is literally the last signal, along with the dollar falling. It's the last signal for the economy or the recession to be done. So once the ISM recovers, there is no recession fears. That's it. Unless there's some type of banking collapse that the Fed doesn't see, that's it. The recession fears are over once the ISM turns back up, and I'm keeping my eye on that. Okay, ISM versus Empire Philly average. Yes, manufacturing sector is still weak, and the ISM can still drop a little further. However, we think that the ISM will bottom over the summer months. So this summer, he's calling for the ISM to bottom this summer. And begin to work higher, will likely remain in contraction territory for a short period of time because we might go lower. I did see the the global PMI, which kind of leads. It's a flash index for the ISM. It went lower, so maybe we bottom over the next couple months. Who knows? But either way, once the ISM does start to bottom and turn up, that's it, bro. And I've seen the data so many times. Like once the ISM turns up, the dollar rolls over, that's it. Like you're back into a bull market, a secular bull market, right? In the secular bull market, like, bro, you want to be long. You want to be long. You don't want to be kind of in, kind of at, like, you got to get in on this bottom if you're going to make some, if you're really going to like increase your wealth to some degree. All right. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically what Empire Philly average is starting to move up. So that's Philly, that's the New York region and the Philadelphia region. So maybe we're starting to recover in the, what is this, the northeast region of the US anyway, the northeast region. What is it called? The coastal region? I can't even think right now. Yeah, the east, the big east, right? New York, Philadelphia, whatever. All right, most of all, you already know by now, and it's been our view that the recession was already priced in. So yeah, he called this back in October that the recession was done, or that the stock recession, the market basically bottom. He called this out, which is why I just keep following his research, because I'm like, dang, this dude called this. He had been talking about it. He said that this negative sentiment would factor as positive because so many people would be off sides and they would be shorting the market, or they'd be in cash and then they FOMO in, and that's what we're seeing, a lot of FOMO, right? So this is just NASDAQ versus ISM. Couple more charts. Indeed, when we look at our composite diffusion index, leading indicators go, okay, what is this? Historically, a cross below 10% has been an incredible buy signal for equities going back to 1965. Improving from very low levels is what we care about here. That's when these charts become important. So this is S&P 500 in white versus countries with leading indicators above trend in blue. And when it means countries, and I've seen this a little bit, like Japan, China, I've talked about this many times. Japan, China, Brazil, and India. Who else is there? Maybe Germany. Their economies are starting to recover and they're pumping stimulus. So that's kind of a front run signal of recovery for the US. Eventually, the US is going to see that recovery start to happen, and markets turn up before that actually happens. So these green lines are once, let me see, across below 10% has been incredible buy signal for equities. This is when, okay, below 10%. So this is basically the bottom of the cycle for global economies. Once global economies, the leading indicators for global economies start to cross below trend, or not below trend, once they bottom, then really everything's done. Like you're at the bottom of the cycle. And that's what I keep saying is, hey, we are at the bottom of the economic cycle. It's only up for here from here. Not little pullbacks that we're seeing today, but over the long term, over the next 18 months, this is pretty much the bottom, right? Not given a black swan event. Obviously, black swan, you can't do nothing about that. Looking at another long-term chart, sentiment metrics also remain extremely depressed. So people are still depressed. As a matter of fact, I saw a chart that showed the short squeeze start to be relieved, and people are still shorting the market here. So we still have room to run. I think that we see a second leg of shorts. And in the stock market, man, those Tesla call options are going to fly. Going into the second half. Looking at another long-term chart, sentiment metrics also remain extremely depressed. The strategic buy signal for equities on this indicator came back in January so far. Okay, so January was the buy signal, and that was how negative investors were. The sentiment was so negative, and that just sets you up for, I call it a short squeeze, but basically it sets you up to flip, just to flip the other way. Oh, here it is. The CFTC 500 net negative positioning for S&P 500. This was at a 15-year low. Wait a minute. We went lower than that? Oh my God. I didn't even see this chart. See, I don't have access to this research, but it actually went lower than 15 years. It went to it looks on here like a 20, 30-year high in negative positioning. And now it's starting to go back up, which tells you people are covering their shorts. So people are covering their shorts. Wow. He says everyone and their dog are still short equities. Hey, I think he copied me, bro. Did he copy me? I actually I tweeted him on Twitter, and I said everyone in their dog is still short equities. I wonder if this dude copied me, bro. I'm gonna have to look back to see. I'm gonna have to look back to see if he did copy me, because I remember I actually took one of his charts, I marked it up, and I said, look, everybody and their dog is short equities. And no, you know what? I said everybody in their dog is short treasuries, or did I say equities? I don't remember. Either way, it's starting to relief, right? This relief rally in this chart is a prime reflection of speculative positioning on the negative side starting to reverse. So that only goes higher from here. Okay, that only goes higher from here. Short term, the NDX has entered overbought territory versus global liquidity conditions. So we are a little overbought on the technology sector, and condition is likely to overdue to correction at some point soon after the monstrous 40% rally off the lows. DMARC count stack up. So yeah, there should be a pullback in the NASDAQ, and we are seeing that. There's a clear pullback in the NASDAQ. Okay, now the more we consolidate, the better we consolidate, right? But the crucial point to understand is that liquidity will continue to rise. Yep. This is the weekly GMI liquidity index year over year in white. And this is the GMI financial conditions 5-month lead. So it looks like financial conditions for what he's speaking of is lead. Now, I don't know exactly how to interpret this other than global liquidity, because I have my charts and my research, which is I look at China and Japan and I see their M2 growth, their money supply growth. I'm looking at if they're cutting rates or not, and then I'm looking at if they're growing their loan growth. So the impulse, it's called the Chinese credit impulse, or it's a credit impulse, meaning how much credit versus GDP is coming into the market. And I think some type of combination of that might come out to his metric, which is global liquidity is picking up regardless. And also another reason is sue them. Nah, bro. Actually, I actually did his chart, so I kind of copied him, or I just made comments on his chart. But another thing is, here in the US, liquidity is also picking up because we see that like people don't understand this $2.5 trillion of money of liquidity or of cash is inside of the reverse repo facility. Okay. Now, let's say the Fed cut rates to zero. What would happen is if they cut rates to zero, that would mean the all the cash inside of the reverse repo would say, "Oh, we're not getting interest anymore. We need to go find somewhere else to gain value. We need somewhere else to go." Right now, they're getting paid 5% interest, which is pretty much the Fed's interest rates, right? That's literally it. When they raise rates, you make money on your cash. So if they cut rates, that cash leaves. That's 2.4 trillion. Now we're at about 2 trillion. $2 trillion of liquidity coming back into the market. That's why I'm bullish. That's why I'm so bullish, because at some point when the economy breaks, the Fed cuts rates and everybody thinks, oh, when they cut rates, things are going to fall apart. No, when they cut rates, the economy might slow down, not because they cut rates, because it's already slowing down, but that liquidity rushes out of the reverse repo and goes into capital markets. Holy smokes, that's going to be a big blow off top, which is why I think we're at phase one liquidity cycle. We're at the phase one of the liquidity cycle, which is China and Japan are stimulating. Once our central bank starts stimulating again, we're going higher. And if you saw my newsletter, the net Fed liquidity is going higher also, which is the money market funds. Mine, oh, that's too complicated. All right. Now, out of all these, this is basically Bitcoin versus the exponential age, ARK Invest, versus NASDAQ versus XLY. What is XLY? I think that's consumer discretionary or consumer cyclicals, S&P 500 here in the white, copper, DXY, XLU, utilities, XLE, energy, nat gas. Point being, Bitcoin's the fastest horse. If we go all the way back to December, Bitcoin is still outpacing everything else. And look, and Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin. No, I'm just kidding. Not right now, but it will. It will, in my view. It could. It could. All right. So fastest horse is Bitcoin. And next, to conclude this, as the world gets up to speed in our everything code hypothesis, and if you're interested to hear what the everything code is, I'll try to explain that. And global debasement cycles, meaning global governments have to debase their currencies in order to fuel growth. That's the only way to get out of this, hole, this SHIT hole, is to debase your currency further to monetize your debt, or to basically roll your debt, or in another sense, to refi, right? What do people do? They refi their houses because so they can pay less. That's literally what the governments do in the world. They're going to refi, and they're going to use the Fed's balance sheet to do that, or their central bank balance sheet to do that. And that just means more liquidity. We're all going higher. Although we do expect a correction, it is likely to only be short term before the next big leg higher. Yep. So this big pullback we're getting in the Qs and S&P is really good. It's really good. I like the pullback. The stronger, the more violent the pullback gets, the more interested I am in getting some long calls, because the more violent the pullback becomes, while the macro stays the same, while the fundamentals to the the global cycle stays the same, the more long I want to be. So this is ARK Innovation versus NASDAQ, and this is supposedly, people call it the new NASDAQ because it's the innovation fund. Basically, it's going to go higher. So that's that chart. I just wanted to share that. I thought it was interesting. I love this guy's work. He does really good work. I'm secretly a really good big fan of him. So I wanted to share that. And then see, let's get back to this before we finish out here. All right, cool. We're still here. Well, at least we got the audio working. I'm gonna work on the stream deck, see if I can get it to Wednesday 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, let's see. Wednesday 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Am I in Mountain Standard Time? Let's see. I think I'm Mountain Standard Time. I just want to keep it clear. MST. Okay, so that's 5 p.m. Yeah, that works. That works. 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Wednesday. That would mean I'd have two podcasts on Wednesday. Okay. Do you hear that, Soggy? We might be getting this on we might do this on Wednesday. Hopefully yeah, let's do that. Bro, what the heck is going on? Yeah, let's do it. All right, so Wednesday, I'll be on here tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow morning, so I'll let you guys know if that changes. But let's do that. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which should be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I always like to go with Eastern Time because everybody kind of knows it. So that would be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We will talk about real estate. This is a guy who is very experienced in real estate. So bring your real estate questions, bring your housing buy questions. I have questions too. I got a lot of questions I want to ask this guy. So come with your questions, show up in the comments, ask him your questions. That is like I'll put it in the chat. This will be 8 p.m. This is not confirmed yet, but for now, this is what we're looking like. Hold on, let me confirm it. For some reason, dude, I swear, is this just some magic like negative juju beans? No, I'm just kidding. Literally Discord, like I'm using Discord. I talked to this guy in Discord, right? And we'll actually let me talk with my business representative to see if we open up our Discord to some of you guys that have been very loyal subscribers. Anyways, it's not letting me send the damn message. How does it? This doesn't make no sense, bro. Like all of a sudden Discord has a bug when I'm literally at the point where I need to send a message to, you know, to confirm the real estate podcast. I'm just kidding. That's weird. My button just disappeared. There it is. Now it's back. Okay. All right. So yeah. Make sure this guy has good audio. I guess it's not that big of a deal. All right, cool. So unless things change, I'll let you guys know, but it'll be Wednesday, 8 p.m. Wholesale investor. Okay. So let's do Wednesday. So you can take a screenshot of this. Probably a better way to do it. I'll definitely confirm it inside of the YouTube comment section. I think you can like comment. What is it called? Man, I need to learn this, but I'll confirm it in that comment section. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Real estate course. No, I'm just kidding. Real estate stream. Eastern time. All right. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys bring some questions also. All right, well, we got that set up. Now before I head out today, what are we at? We're at like 3 hours, I think, on the stream. 2 hours. We're at 2 hours. Okay, before I head out, let's take a quick look. What do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see any indexes specifically? Wow, S&P is dropping support right now. This might be the monster pullback. This might be the monster pullback. S&P is starting to drop support. Where is this fear coming from? Yep, S&P dropping support. Trader. Dang, chill out, bro. 30-minute. This is a 30-minute chart. Hey, it looks like we're going back to 429 on S&P. I think it's a healthy pullback. Let me go through. Dang it, I keep messing up. Let's go through Apple, Amazon. See where Apple's looking like. Apple probably pulls back into support. Looks like Microsoft's headed back for, what is that, 325 also. It dropped support also. Who else do we got? We got Apple, Amazon, Google. Google's rolling over. Amazon, after breaking out on that ChatGPT news, dang, Amazon's getting smoked. Okay, Amazon's getting smoked. What a false breakout. Wow. Nvidia, I think, getting smoked. Dang, we're already down to near 400. This thing was literally like 3 days ago at 430. So Nvidia is getting smoked. There's the opportunity. These things are going to get bought up over the next 3 weeks. AMD might get see, this is why I didn't want to buy that gap fill on AMD, because AMD will bounce hard and then come right back down and make another low. So this thing is getting crushed. Now, if Tesla's selling off, the market is really weak, because that might be I think that's literally been the strongest stock in the market for the last like 30 days. Oh yeah, Tesla's getting smoked. We're at 244. People must be freaking out right now. We're at 244. So Tesla's getting absolutely smoked. 244, 243. All those buyers, big head and shoulders. Here's the relief rally. I think 235 is going to be that next. Now, the fact that we're getting smoked now, what I want to do is actually, is Zia moving up? I want to actually see where I can get in on this. Not now. All right, cool. So that's what we're looking at in the market. I don't know if there's a lot of bad news hitting the market right now. It might be technical. I think we are waiting for the news, some news to come out. Maybe there's some rush. Maybe there's some geopolitical unrest happening. I'm not sure. But tomorrow we got durable good orders at 5 p.m. We'll see if people are if we still get that deflation in manufacturing and goods. It should continue the deflation. And then we have all that. So yeah, this is good. This is a nice little pullback. This is needed. I like to see it. We just got to figure out where the support's at. Yeah, we got to figure out where support's at. And see also, wait, why did that pop up? Also, you have a MicroStrategy pulling back hard. I don't know if Bitcoin is selling off. Is Bitcoin selling off also? I'm checking on another chart. Also, is the VIX ripping up? Kinda. Dollar yields coming down. VIX. I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on here. But Ethereum 8. Oh man, Chainlink is at 620. Chainlink is holding on strong there. Let's go Chainlink. Sorry, I'm looking at another chart. Bitcoin's pulling back. Here comes the opportunity. Here comes the opportunity. All right, back to back to this chart. So I know we're still early in the day. We could turn up from here. We can definitely turn up from here. So it's not like certain that we're going into this big sell pattern, but just keep your eyes posted today to see if S&P gets below 432. That's the key level right now. If S&P finishes below 432, and the Qs, where the Qs at? NDX. The thing keeps tricking me. And then we get the NDX. That's why I kind of like TradingView. It's a lot easier to navigate. NDX is dropping support, so we're going lower. I'll just put the Qs on because that really doesn't make sense. Yeah, so Qs are dropping. Qs are dropping for sure. They're going to fill that gap at 350, 750. Well, this is a quick sell-off. Woo. This is a quick sell off. All right, cool. So anyways, yeah, keep your guys out. I'll let you guys know for tomorrow if we lock in this time so we can do that. Other than that, I'm going to end the stream here. Appreciate you guys. I saw somewhere on TikTok that if a Bitcoin breaks 32K resistance, it has room to run to 60K. Facts or not facts? Yes, facts. Well, it has room to, Bitcoin will have room to hit some other resistance levels. So you have to get past, hey, you have to get past 37K. But yes, over 32,000. This is the best chart on TOS that I can pull up because there's no spot Bitcoin TF. This is futures. Over 32 is definitely, there's a lot of room. Look at this. Over 32, once you really hold over 32, 32.4 is really it. 32.5. Mark that up. 32.5. Once you get above 32.5, there's literally no resistance until 37.50 in my view. So you got 37.50. You got some resistance here. And then after 37.50, I mean, you could really go all the way up to 48.50. So there's a couple levels still for Bitcoin to get past. There's still a couple levels Bitcoin needs to get past. But for the most part, over 32, it's basically confirming like, all right, we're definitely breaking out of this bear market and the bull market is back on. It could run all the way to 50K and then just drop, or 42K, whatever, and then drop. I think 40 what is this, 42.50? This might be a level. I'm trying to see where the levels are at for Bitcoin. 41K might be one. So it could run all the way up and then drop back down, not make new lows, but rip back lower. That's usually what it does until we get the macro starting to improve. So that is fact. So over 32K is the breakout level for Bitcoin. Over 32K. Now, the reason why I'm not like super negative right now, because the macro hasn't changed. Like nothing is changing in the macros. Crude oil is still low. Nothing is changing. And maybe I'm missing a story, but crude is still getting crushed. It's still moving lower. The VIX is really going nowhere. Like the VIX is in a downtrend. It gapped up. Okay, great. Whatever. VIX isn't going nowhere. TNX is going to be bond yields. Bond yields are rolling over. They're at the top of the trend. They should come down as growth comes down. The move index, I wonder if you can you get the move index on here? Move index. Nah, that's not the move index. The dollar, right? The dollar is the other one. Like, is the dollar signaling risk on or risk off? It's still consolidating sideways. So I think this is just a technical breakdown. Wow, NVIDIA at 405. This is just a technical breakdown. And there's going to be opportunity to buy this dip. That's my view. Other than that, I'm out of here. Appreciate you guys showing up. I'll be on tomorrow again, and we'll hopefully the stream is a little better. I'll try to get the stream quality up, and we'll figure things out. But I do appreciate you guys on here. I will catch you tomorrow morning. Take it easy. Stay blessed. Get your exercise. Eat a good diet. Stay disciplined, and be blessed. Oh yeah, I don't have the exit music anymore. Peace.